Hello, everybody. Welcome to one more session on Azure Administrator. First, let us look into the agenda for today's session. Today, we will discuss about how to create a virtual mission with SSH keys and we'll see how to log in. Till now, whenever we created a virtual mission, we use the username and password, right? Let us see how to create that with SSH keys. First of all, we'll also understand why do we need to use SSH keys. Okay, and then we'll understand something called as custom script extensions, and we will create additional hard disks, and we'll take snapshot of those hard disks. Okay, and then we'll understand a concept called as Azure Shared Disk. This is the agenda for today's session. Now let's look into the first concept, virtual machine with SSH keys. Now why we need to create a virtual machine with SSH? Basically SSH, it is a it is an encrypted connection protocol. Okay, and it is very secured way of connecting to virtual machines. Okay, now SSH, this authentication happens with the help of private and public key pair. Okay, so if authentication has to happen, it should happen private and public. Now where will be the public key? Public key will be stored on the virtual machine. Okay, now private key, customer will have it. When need to log into the virtual machine, we need to give our private key to the virtual machine, and virtual machine will check that with the public key which is stored in the VM, and then the authentication will happen. Okay, this is one of the most secured way connecting to Unix platforms. Now let us look into the hands-on exercise. Let me shift to my Azure portal. Let's go to virtual machines, select option create a virtual machine. Now, a resource group. I'm choosing a resource group by name demo resource group. Virtual machine name, I will give it as my demo VM. Okay, region east US is fine for me. I will choose the image as, let's say, Ubuntu. Okay, now if we see here under authentication, there are two options. One is SSH public key, second one is password. If we give password, it will ask for username, password, and confirm password. Now let's say I'm choosing SSH public key. Okay, under here, let's say I'm giving the username as my name. And under SSH public key resource, there are multiple options. One is generate a new key pair or use the existing key stored in the Azure. Okay, or use existing public key. I will select option generate a new key pair because we don't have the key pair yet. Okay, now I will give the name of this file as demo Azure. Okay, key pair name as demo Azure. Now rest of the things I will leave everything for default. Okay, I'm not going to create anything. Everything I'm doing leaving for default and selecting options review and create. Now if you see this option create, select this option called as create. Now before the virtual machine is created, okay, you see it is saying download the private key and create resource. Okay, now select option download. So now the private key for this virtual machine is getting downloaded. Okay, You see the private key is downloaded. Okay, the name has come as demo azure.pem file. Okay, it is extension is having dot pem is the extension, and the virtual machine is getting created. So pem stands for privacy enhanced mail. Okay, so basically these pem files normally used for web servers. Okay, they can easily, it can be translated, it can be it is readable data using simple test. Okay, that is nothing but a pem file. Now, but we created a Unix based operating system, right? For the Unix based operating system, .pem will not support. We need something called as a .ppk file. Okay, .pem is not supported. We need something called as a .ppk. Now, how to convert this .pem file to .ppk? We need to open a tool called as PuttyGen. Okay, there's a tool called as putty key generator. Now you see we can load our private file. Okay, load an existing private key file. Select option load, go to downloads. This is the key demo. This is the key that I have given, right? Not this. uh, okay, now you see, let me see all files, then only it will be displayed. Yeah, demo azure pem is the file that I have created. I choose that pem file and select open. Okay, now it has created a .ppk file for us. Now where is the .ppk file? I need to select this option. The key that we should have is a private key, right? Select this option called as save private key. I'll say yes. Okay, you should give a name to the key. I'll say new demo azure. I'm saving it in downloads. Select option save. Okay, I have converted the .ppk file to the, sorry, .pem file to .ppk file. Now let me go to this resource, copy the public IP address. Now how to connect to a Unix based operating system? By using putty, right? Let me open putty. Let's say a new session. Select option open. I accept. Username I have given as my name. Enter. Okay, now see, it is not connecting. Basically we have to give a key, right? So there is no option to give the key here. Let me do that one more time. Let me open a putty file, putty.exe. Okay, now I have given the IP address. Now if you see in the SSH, there is something called as authorization. Select this auth. You see there's something called as credentials. Under credentials, you see private key file for authentication. Select this option browse. Select all files here, and this is the ppk file. Select option open. Okay, and open. Now I'll give the username. So now what it will do, it will take the my private key and it will match with the public key that the system is having. So you see, it is saying authenticating with the public key. What it is authenticating? The private key that I have submitted, and I was able to log in. So this is how we can use a SSH keys to connect with Azure virtual machines securely. Okay, if I go into that, my first topic for today is connect Linux virtual machines with SSH keys. All right. Next, let's discuss about an option called as custom script extensions. Okay. Now, what is this custom script extension? Let me copy this. Now, let us say I want to create a virtual mission. Okay, after virtual mission is created, I want to make that as a web server. Then what I need to do? Basically, I need to run some commands like sudo apt install sudo apt update. Okay, and if it is a Nginx server, we also have to run additional software like sudo apt get install -y. If it is a Nginx, let's say Nginx web server, then I have to give Nginx. Okay, and so these are the couple of commands that I need to give. And if you want to upgrade also, we can give sudo apt get upgrade -y stands for yes. Okay. Now these are the three commands that I have to run. So now when I have to run this, once I create a virtual machine, I need to log into the virtual machine. If I run these three syntaxes, Nginx web server will be created. Okay. But you know what? I want as soon as the virtual machine when it is creating, I want that to run these three commands and virtual machine should become a web server automatically. How can I do that? By using something called as custom script extension. So what we can do, these three commands, we can give it as a script and we can tell the virtual machine when it is starting up to run the script as well. Okay, let's see how to do that. Let me go to my Visual Studio. Okay, and let's say I'm creating a new file. The new file name I'll give it as, let's say, web.sh. Okay, it is a shell script, right? Web.sh is the file name. In this I will mention those commands what I told you: apt get update -y. Okay, and apt get, let's say, upgrade -y. Okay, and apt get install -y. The web software is Nginx. Okay, I'm just three commands. I will save it. This file is saved. This file name is web.sh. Okay, now couple of more things that you have to remember when you're running this. Okay, what is that? Whatever scripts that you're creating, right? This script has to be stored on Azure storage accounts. Okay, this is one, or it can be on GitHub. It can be on GitHub or Azure storage accounts. Second, whatever scripts that we are giving, right? Make sure that the scripts don't require user inputs, because if it requires user inputs, the script will start in between. Okay, and in the scripts, don't put reboot syntax or restart something. Why? Because this is a script that is going to run even before your virtual machine is created. So there is no point of putting a reboot syntax in your script. And your script should be simple and it should not take more than 90 minutes to run. If it is more than 90 minutes, the system will not take it. Okay. So these are the some of the things that we need to keep in our mind when you're working with custom script extensions. Now the first thing is that we need a storage account to update this file that I have created, right? So let me go to Azure storage accounts. Let me go to storage accounts, select option create a storage account. Okay, I will use demo RG as the resource group. I'm giving a random name. Okay, review, and let me create this storage account. Okay, once this storage account is created, I will upload the script to that particular blob account. On the storage account, we can create something called as storage blobs. Okay, give it a minute. It is still creating, give it a minute. Okay, the resource is created. Let me go to this containers under data storage. I will create a container by name scripts. Okay, and create. Okay, inside the scripts, I'll upload the file. Right inside this, think it is there in the folder called as images. Yeah, this is the script file. Select option open. Okay, upload. So I'm uploading this web.sh to the storage account. Now let us create the virtual machine with by running the scripts. Okay, go to virtual machines, select option create a virtual machine, select the resource group, virtual machine name, extension demo, Ubuntu is fine. Okay, I'll give password this time. I'm giving a username and password. All right, and because this has to be a web server, let me enable HTTP and HTTPS ports. Okay, let me go to networking, management, monitoring, advanced. Under advanced, you see there is something called as extensions. Select a extension to install. Okay, here there are a lot of extensions here. We need to search for, you see this is there here, custom script for Linux. But if you don't find it, you can just type it here, custom script for Linux. Okay, this will come. Select this, select option next. Okay, it is asking where is the script file. This is there in the storage account. Select the storage account, container, and this is the script file. Select. Okay, now it is saying command script.sh, but our file name is web.sh, right? Change, that is the default one which will show. Change that sh, that means shell web.sh. This is the file that you have to run. All right. And then select this create button and select this option called as review and create. Okay, now select create button here. Now this will take about 30 to 40 seconds for the virtual machine to be created. With the, it will run that shell script and it will install all the Nginx software and it will come up. You see the deployment is in progress. Okay, the deployment is in progress. Okay, it is still in progress. Let us wait for a moment. Let me refresh this. Now you see the resource is deployed. Let me go to the resource. Okay, you see this public IP address. Let me copy that. All right, and let me open a new browser here and put that IP address. And if you see, the web server software is already created. That is how we can use custom script extensions for Unix based servers. Now let's say we want to use custom script extensions for Windows. Is it possible? Yes, for Windows also it is possible. Let's see how to do that. Let me go to create a virtual machine. Okay, I will choose the same resource group. I'll say the name of the server is Windows custom extension. Okay, and here the image I will change it as Windows image. I will use the username as Satish and the password as, okay, and confirm the password. All right, and open the web ports. Go to disks, go to networking, go to management, go to monitoring advanced. Now here select a extension to install. Now previously we have selected a custom extension for Linux, right? So but now here let's select custom script extension. Okay, now this is not Linux, this is just a custom script extension. Let me select that, go to option next. But now we didn't put any that script file on the storage, right? Let me go to that storage. The storage account I have created is this. Let's go to containers. Okay, go to storage accounts, go to containers. Okay, previously this script is there, right? Now let me upload a new script. Let me write the script for that. Let's go here. Okay, now here let us create a PowerShell file, PowerShell script. Okay, I'll give it as web1.ps1. Okay, this is the, because it is a PowerShell, that it is PowerShell script that we can run on Windows, right? That is the reason I'm giving a PowerShell script. Okay, and let's see what is the code that we have to write here to install web. So basically it is the service called as IIS, right? So here we need to write something called as import hyphen module. Module name is called as server manager. Okay, and add Windows feature web hyphen server. That means the ISS service hyphen include all sub feature. Okay, this is the code. Let me save it. The file is saved now. I have the script ready. Let me go to here, upload the script. This is a PowerShell script. Okay, browse for files. Okay, this is the one, web1.ps1. Select option open. Right, and then let me upload this particular file. Upload. The file is uploaded successfully. Now let me come here. Okay, script file is required, right? Select option browse. Go to the storage account. Go to the folder scripts. Select the PowerShell script. Option select. Okay, and then option create and review and create. Now once this server is created, this will automatically become as a web server, because that is what we have put in that particular script. Okay, validation is passed. Now let me go ahead and create that. This will take about 10 to 15 seconds for that to be created. Okay, meanwhile let us see the agenda. So we understood how to create a virtual machine with SSH keys. We understood about custom script extensions. Next, we will create a hard disk and take a snapshot of that particular hard disk. Okay, the deployment is in progress. Okay, it will take another 10 to 15 seconds. Okay, let's wait for another 5 seconds. It will take another 5 seconds for the virtual machine to be created. Now, if you see the resource is created, let me go to the resource. Okay, let me take the public IP address and go to a new tab and paste the IP address. Now you should be seeing the default web server page. So we didn't log into the server, but the web software is already installed with the custom script extension. That is how we have to install custom script extension on Windows Server. All right. Okay, that's about custom script extensions as well as Linux virtual machines with SSH. Now, what is a create a snapshot for a data disk? Now, let's say we are creating a disk. Okay, let's say let me take my whiteboard for that. Let's say we know what is an additional disk, right? Let's say there's a virtual machine. To this virtual machine, I am assigning a additional hard disk. Okay. Now what is that? We can take a snapshot of this virtual machine. Okay, in case this hard disk fails, we can restore this snapshot and get all the data. Okay, that is what we are going to do. We will create one additional hard disk assigned to the virtual machine. We'll create one file on this hard disk, and then we will take a snapshot, delete this hard disk, and then restore a snapshot. Okay, that is what the hands-on exercise that we're going to do. So we already have a Windows virtual machine, right? So let me go to home. Okay, okay, this is the Windows virtual machine. Let me copy. Okay, even before that, let me create a hard disk very fast. Go to hard disk. I'm attaching an external hard disk to this particular server. Okay, it is taking a little time, the page to come up. Let's give it a minute. Let's go to disks. Go to virtual machines. Okay, let me go to this Windows virtual machine. Go to disks. Create and attach a new disk. I'll give the name as demo disk 1, and the size I will choose as 10 GB, and then save. That means we're giving a additional 10 GB disk to this particular server. While this is creating, let me go ahead and connect to the server. Let's go to, okay, let it complete. Cancel. Let me go to RDP. I already copied the IP address. Okay, this is the IP address. Connect. More choices. Select option. Okay. Okay, now I'm connecting to the server. You should be able to see an additional hard disk also in that. The hard disk size is 10 GB. Okay, now the system is coming up. Let us wait for a moment. Let's go here and select disk management. Okay, disk management. Okay, if you see, there is a second disk also. Okay, which is, okay, 10 GB, which is unallocated. Let me, this is online. Let me create a drive, create a simple volume. Next, next, next. We are creating an F drive. Click OK, finish. Okay. Now you see there's a F drive also created. Let me right click on this. Let me go down here. Right click on this. go to Explorer. Let me create a file here. New text document demo. In this, I will mention some line. This is line 1. Okay. So now what I have done till now, so we have done this exercise already in the previous sessions. What we did, we created a virtual machine and we given an additional hard disk. We formatted the disk and I created one file in this. Now let me go back to my Azure console. Okay. In this, search for disks. Okay. Select disks. Now you see these are the disks which is already there. Now the disk that we created is called as a demo disk. Select this option called as demo disk. Okay. And you see there's an option here called as create a snapshot of this particular hard disk. Select create snapshot. Okay. Give a name. Resource group is same. My first snapshot. Okay. Review and create. It is validating whether this snapshot can be created or not. The validation is passed. Select option create. Now the snapshot would be created. Okay, the deployment is in progress. Okay, now the snapshot is created. Let's say go to resource. We can see under snapshot, my first snapshot, it is created. Now let's do one thing. Let me go to that particular virtual machines. Okay, let's go to this virtual machine. Go to disks. Okay, let me remove this disk. To remove this disk, press this one. The disk is removed. Okay, and I'm saving it. We can also go to the virtual machine and check. It is does not have any F drive there. Okay, let me go back. So it is removing the disk from that particular virtual machine. Now let's go to disks again. Okay, before that, let us also go to snapshots. If I go to snapshot, my first snapshot is there. Okay, now let me go back to the disks. The disk that we created is demo disk. Okay, which is a 10 GB disk. Let me select this disk and select option delete. Or if you want to delete this disk, yes, I'm sure I want to delete this disk, and the disk is deleted. So basically whatever file that we stored in this disk, it will also go once we delete this disk. Okay, it is showing disk is deleted successfully. Okay, it will take some time to go out of the screen, but the disk is deleted. We can confirm here. Okay, the disk is deleted. Now let me go here. Let me go to snapshots. Okay, I have this snapshot, right? From this snapshot, I will create a new disk. I'll say create a disk. Okay, I'm creating this from the snapshot. What is the name of the disk? My snap disk. That means I created this disk from a snap. Rest all I will leave as it is. Select option, review and create. It is validating. Yeah, let me go to create. Okay, it is creating the disk from the snap. Okay, let me go to resource now. Okay, let me go and see in the disks. Let me go to this option called as disks. There should be snap disk. Okay, let me go to disk. Let me refresh this. Now you see my snap disk is there here. Okay, now let me go to virtual machines. Our virtual machine is called as this, right? Windows execute virtual machine. Go to disks here, right? Let me now, I want to attach a disk. I want to attach a existing disk, not a new disk. I will attach a disk that I have created from the snapshot. Okay, let's say attach existing disk. The disk name is my snapshot disk. Okay, and then save. Now if you go on to that virtual machine, we should be able to see the file that we have created previously. Okay, let it finish. It is still attaching. Updated virtual machine successfully. Let me go to this virtual machine now. You see, now I am able to see this F drive again. Right click, select option, explore. Now if you see, that file demo is there, and this is the line. Okay, those options are there. This is how basically we create additional disks. We take snapshots, and we can restore the snapshots in case if there is any files that are missing, and assign that disk to a virtual machine. All right, now let me go back to the agenda now. Okay, now we understood Linux virtual machine with SSH keys. We know custom script extensions. We know how to create a snapshot for data disks. And the next one is called as Azure Shared Disks. Now, what does this mean? Let me go back to my whiteboard. Okay, till now, what we're doing that is this particular hard disk. We are giving it only one virtual machine. Okay, let me erase this. Let's say I have one virtual machine. Okay, I have one hard disk. I created one external hard disk and assigned to this virtual machine. Now let's say I have another virtual machine, and can I give the same hard disk to this virtual machine? What happens now? Users from this virtual machine also can create files. Users from this virtual machine also can create files. Is this possible? Yes, it is possible if we enable an option called as shared hard disk. Okay, let me show you where it is. Let me go to my hard disks. Go to disks. Go to disks here. Select my snap disk. We can go to configuration here. Now if you see, this option shared disk is not enabled for this. Okay, now what shall we do? Let us create a new disk, because this disk is already assigned to a system. Okay, now let's say create. I'll select the same resource group, disk name shared demo. Okay, review and create. Okay, select create. Meanwhile, let me also create another virtual machine to show that we can assign this virtual machine to both the disk to both the virtual machines. Okay, this disk also created. Let me go to virtual machines, create a new virtual machine, and it should be a Windows virtual machine. All right, demo RG virtual machine name, second Windows VM. All right, I'll give the username and password. Password. Right, and review and create, and select the option create. Okay, while it is creating, let me assign that hard disk to the first virtual machine. Let me go here. Let's go to disks, and the disk that we created is a shared demo, right? Let me select that. Now go to configuration. I need to enable this option called as enable shared disk. Maximum to how many servers? Maximum to 5 servers we can share this disk. For this demo, I'll just put it as 3. That means this hard disk, we can share it to only 3 servers, and select option save. Okay, this is successfully updated. Now let me go to the virtual machine. Okay, go to virtual machines. My first virtual machine name is Windows custom extension is the virtual machine. Let me go to disks here. All right, and attach a existing disk. Select this, and the disk name is new, right? That is that the disk name. Okay, let's see the disk name. No, the disk name is shared demo. That is the disk name. Okay, okay, why it is not displaying here? Okay, if you see, this is showing disks in resource group demo RG. Okay, but we created this in a different resource group. That is the reason we are not able to see that. Okay, let me go very quickly and create another disk in the resource group demo RG. Go to home, disks, create a new disk, demo RG, shared one. Let's say chain size 16 GB. Click OK, review and create. Then select option create. Uh, I didn't give a shared access for this. That's okay. Once the disk is created, we can give that option. Meanwhile, let me connect to this particular server as well. Copy and go to RDP. remote desktop connection, IP address, connect, more choices. All right, and select option OK. Select option S. So that will be connected to this server as well. Let's say this disk is created. Let me go to resource, go to configuration, share disk. Yes, share it to two servers. That's okay. Select save. Okay, this configuration is shared. Let me refresh. Go to virtual machines. Okay, let me open the second VM. Go to disks. Select add existing disks. You see shared one disk is visible here. Okay, we have to make sure that your server and this has to be there in a same resource too, and then save. All right, it is updating the virtual machine. Let's go here. Let me go to home, go to virtual machines, go to the second virtual machine, select option disks. Now go here. You see both shared and shared one are visible. Select option shared, go to save. So this particular disk shared one is shared to both the servers. Okay, for this server also it is shared. Okay, for this server also it is shared, for the second one also. Okay, for this server also there, for this server also there. Now anyways I logged into server 1, right? Let me go to the server 1. Okay, go to disk management. This is second server. Okay, go to the right now. This is the okay, this is the 16 GB disk. This is the disk. Let me create a simple volume. Next, 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 F letter, next, finish. The drive is F. Okay, new volume is created. You see drive, new volume F. Let me go to explore. I'll create a new file here. Text document, demo. Let's say in this, let me update. This is shared disk. Okay, let me save this. Save. All right, now you see this has how many disks? This is a 16 GB disk. This is a default disk, right? Okay, you remember this server IP 172.190.48.175. Let us log into the other server as well. Okay, this is the other server. Let me okay, now if you see, if I go into the other server, I can see there is this file called as demo in this, and this is saying line 1. Okay, now if I go into the other server, you will be able to see that. Okay, this is the volume. Open that. demo. Oh, this is a shared disk. Okay, it should be there. This is shared disk. Okay, let me go there. I think previously also we have created the same thing by name same drive. Okay, let me. Okay, let's say this is the shared disk, right? Okay, this is fine only. Let me go to the other server. Okay, let me go to disk management here. Here also we should see the disk, right? Okay, click OK. You see it is showing here. Create new simple volume. Next, next, another letter. Next, finish. Now we can see the disk in both the servers. Okay, we can create here also whatever we want. Okay, so this basically what we have achieved is we're able to store or share the disk to both the servers. I think in fact we can remove this. That is better option. Yeah. I removed the previous disk to this. Now it will have only one disk. Now this particular disk we can use from both the servers. Okay. That is the use of a option shared disk. Now you see here in this particular file I have both demo and demo one. Okay, this is a demo share. Okay, this is a demo share. We can see that, and we can also go and see a files that we created on that particular server as well. Okay, so that is how we can share a hard disk because we have created two folders G and F. Okay, so both the files are there in that particular hard disk. That is how we can share a hard disk to both the servers. Let us go to our agenda. So in today's session, we discussed about Linux virtual machines with SSH keys. We discussed about custom script extensions. We discussed about create a snapshot for data disks. And then we discussed about Azure data shared disks. All right. See you guys in the next session. Take care.